Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joel Duggan and we are hanging out in the Westhill portion of the Citadel server where we left off yesterday, and we are going to look at the next thing in the book. First I have to put down, I've got to put Steven's gold away. There's almost enough for another block. I feel like I should just donate the 6 nuggets to get an even number of blocks, and then the next time we're in Steven's neighborhood we can just drop off some blocks. Do this. Now we know what that is. And these can just go in here. So yesterday we were working on the front gate and it's almost dark, so I'm gonna have to sleep in a second here. While I'm waiting for the sun to go down, SweetSandi, thanks very much for the resub. 37 months. Time is ticking away, it is indeed. And MindTripMedia for 100 bits. And the lurk, thanks ever so much. Appreciate it. We'll just shed some sunlight on the situation here. Oh, this always happens. It's the one downside I think of having a clock in the game, is that when you know it's about 1832, you don't do what you're about to do. You end up waiting to sleep because it's so much easier to talk about stuff when the sun is shining. Anyway, yesterday we added this extension on the back of the main gate and added a bunch of texture to the roof, and it looks a lot better. It looks very I want to say weathered, but it looks like it's part of the world now instead of just like plunked down. So I'm really happy with that. And we were able to check off a few things in the book. We did end up adding more stuff because, just like everything else in the build, because of the way that the data pack is currently working for tables and chairs, or not working as it were, we have some of those things to fix. So really it's just kind of one big checkbox that has to be worked on, and that I have to go through and fix up all of the tables and chairs everywhere. So I'm not sure if it's like an extra item or just it's one giant item that spans the whole area. And we also have a closet here. Do I have the book on me? I do. I know that I had like a Northgate page. And then we'll say top tower, inside top design. I only have so much space in here. I think dock and riverbank details. Right. So I think we're back in the rivers today. I think that's what's left, right? Main hall decor, main hall mezzanine, all of that stuff needs tables and chairs. That needs tables and chairs. So yeah, well, I guess we could do a little bit of work on the crossroads if we wanted to. Some texturing and whatnot. I feel like the texturing of the roads would be better if we waited until we had buildings in. Yeah, Westhill Riverscaping, potato farm. All right, let's put that back in here. I do really like how easy it is to get around in this place. GrandpaCrafter, CJ, Cosmic, good to see everybody. Obu, hope you're having a good weekend. We'll dump off a couple things we don't need. Maybe pick up a few things we do. That can go in there. Those can go in there. That's all just part of what we're working on. So I guess we'll need this regardless. So yeah, everything was basically river based. So I think we have to look at the Westhill River. It'd be nice to complete that. Yeah, it's time to go swimming, Cosmic. You're right, and I will confess, I'm not excited about it. It's not a particularly fun thing to do. Got some missing coarse dirt. Although I don't know if I actually... I think the bottom of this was always just dirt, because you really can't see the coarse dirt from above the water. So I'd say we're pretty good all through here. Could use a little bit more vegetation, maybe. But then it just kind of stops. We've got the coarse dirt in. I feel like the shape of the river is fine. It's more or less things like this bank and a couple of other places that might need a little help. Some of this could just be built up as opposed to carved down. That could be easier to do. Some things like this are just a little bit wonky. And then here we just completely lose all of the coarse dirt. And then it picks back up again here. So all of this is going to get addressed. So yeah, we'll grab our river boxes. I think I'd like to start with above the river. The south bank is probably a good thing to work on. I was watching Tango Tech's first Hermitcraft video today, and the steampunk stuff that he's doing, and it gave me some ideas for what to do in here for the distillery, so looking forward to getting that done, but we need tables and chairs first. What am I looking for here? We need definitely a bone meal. Mangrove roots. Bring those along. Definitely azalea. Definitely the grass. Moss and grass. Get all those? Yes. And we're probably going to need the wood pieces. Don't think we'll need much flowers. And do I have mud? A little bit. Let's fill some of that up. Just so I have some extra. And we're gonna need probably cobble tough gravel. The real question is, where are we gonna set up shop? I think that should be good. Yep. Anything else, I'm sure I can come back. Do I need all those flowers? No, if you need any, come and get them. I'm sure you probably have more than I do of those common flowers. That's why I have so many, is because they're such a common flower. I don't know if there's a big enough space over here to set up. At least not conveniently. We'll probably have to set up a little bit farther away. Maybe the dock? Or, well, I don't want to set up on that peninsula, because then probably going to just be in the way. The dock might be a good place. The problem with all of this is that you generally have to swim back to whatever you're doing. So it takes a while. So there's enough room here that we could totally set up here and use this as a jumping off point. When we're doing stuff over there, we can set up on the road. That's not a big deal. Where else could we jump off? There's a clearing back here. This wouldn't be too bad. Actually, this is probably closer for what we want to do. I'll just have to make sure things are out of sight. That's fine. So maybe we'll set up here for now. Oh. Bring 2 of those? I did. And I guess we just start with grass in the dirt. And honestly, probably the green ones next. We've got oak, spruce, mangrove roots. Oh, do dark oak first. Thanks, CJ. Appreciate it. Patrice Patoons. Hello, hello. Welcome back. This feels a little bit cramped. So you know what? We're just going to take out a chunk here. Grab a stack or so of each. Coarse dirt, slabs. Leave that for now. Don't know if we're going to need mangrove. Maybe a little bit of gravel. I know that we definitely want to bring the old rooted dirt and packed mud combo. Felt like that looks really good along the shores. And I've got a funny feeling we're going to need some oak and spruce. We might have to do some spruce farming today, actually. So I think this should be interesting, starting with the river bank as opposed to doing the river first. I usually do the river first. But essentially all I want to do is just kind of smooth out some of this. I want to respect some of the trees, maybe even add a little bit. So like here's a good example of being able to do something cool like this. Right? Just to kind of give something to look at when you're on this side. Like it's really subtle, but I think it's worth doing. And then we can do stuff like this here too. And then place down those. Oh, I'll need a bucket. the water logging stuff. I'm hungry all of a sudden. So I think it'll just be a matter of tweaking little things like this along the way. Yeah. Honestly, it might look better if we did root here too. Nope. Better first time. And then something like that. We could just do a little bit of bone meal around it and probably pretty good. So I've done this before. We did this along the East River. We just kind of take the existing landscape and just tweak it. No, I can handle it. Thanks, Cosmic. Yeah. Something like that's pretty good. I might even just remove this one. You can see more of the roots. Kind of let the Minecraft RNG do its thing. Yeah. Good. So things like this, I just want to smooth it a little bit. Probably start here. Start to bring that down a little bit. Actually, I guess at this point we're going to run into this little cave. We could either do something about that or actually let it show. So we'll back up and see what that looks like. Happy, hello, hello. Yeah, see, all of a sudden that just doesn't look like a flat wall of nothing. I mean, it'll need some bone meal and some other things, but I think that's pretty good. What I would like to do here is add some bushes. And what are we in for biomes? Taiga, it looks like. Yeah, so that's not going to work at all, so we'll just use grass. But what looks good in a taiga biome is mangrove. So just little things like that, I think, go a long way. Long before that lantern and hay bale get in the way. I think they're okay. Just even just little something like that, I think helps a lot. Just want to remove this extra tier. I guess you should get some spruce leaves too. And actually, I can put the azalea back because I can't use them. Jody Illyria, hello. I don't think I need to leave the rock there. I think I could just maybe replace it and be done with it. Yeah. We're probably going to cover this cave up. It's not super important. EladJenkins, good to see you. So yeah, if I was to cover this up, I think what I would do here is just bring that along like that. Probably better to drop it down here. And I could just leave all this, but I just don't have the patience today to wait for it to turn to grass. I want to be able to kind of back up and see changes I've made, how things are looking. MDocs, great to see you. Is it still Friday where you are? It's Saturday here. Yeah, like real simple change, but effective. And I feel like we can maybe dot a couple more bushes in through here. One of those weeks. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I had a busy week too. So I'm going to put another bush like right here, I think. And maybe we'll cover up that corner. And that's probably all we need. Probably all we need. I think I'm just going to run around and hit it with some bone meal. Yeah. I think we're good. So from here, what I would do is just come along here, start at the top. And I'll likely remove a lot of the tall grass. And obviously the flowers. So we'll just do this one section at a time. See what we can get to. And this is where you end up with more stuff in your inventory than you ever planned. I wonder if I could go around with the ferns and like replace flowers with the ferns, like use the Minecraft placement to kind of roughly space out my ferns. And the inventory's full. I wish we could do more with flowers. I think I've talked about this before. I feel like I've mentioned something like wanting a flower block, being able to smush the flowers together into something that looks kind of like a coral block. I think that would be a really fun, bright block to use. Now I want to try and strategically remove some of these tall grass pieces. Although that's not too bad. That's actually not too bad. Chris Coringo with a Prime sub. Thanks very much. Appreciate it, Chris. For folks that have used their subs today, make sure you connect your Discord and your Twitch if you have not already. I'd love to see you in the Discord. And having a Prime sub or a Tier 1 gets you access. So I think I'm going to use a little bit of what we have going on over here. And maybe get a little character happening down here. Yeah. That's fun. And I don't think we can put grass on mud. No. Yeah, just brings a little bit of extra life in there. Now here is where I would like to have a little bit more contrast. Make sure that the brown stands out a little bit more. Yeah, works for me. A little bit too full, but we kind of knew that was going to happen. Hey, there's the mighty Elkhorn. How's it going? You'll note my absence of animated avatar. Low 88. Great to see you. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday so far. All right, let's take a peek from a couple of different angles just to make sure we're not missing anything. Weekend has started off pretty good. Yeah, full of pancakes. I actually went to bed quite early last night, so I got some decent sleep, which is surprising. Although I was up early, I had to get up and prep for the Spawn Chunks quarterly hangouts. I had a lot of numbers. It took me 2 hours to crunch all the numbers and prep for the show. Yeah, it's a little, there's a lot of grass from this angle. It doesn't look so bad up through here, but I think that's just because of, where does that go? Nowhere. I think that's just because of the angle. Once you start looking at it a little bit more straight, not so bad. I do like this coarse dirt mixed in there. That's a fun little addition. Maybe I'll do that farther down the line. Yeah, like I feel like we could have A little bit here, maybe. Just to kind of break up that checkerboard look to things. Or I shouldn't say checkerboard, like a cubert level. Yeah, that's really effective at breaking up the monotony of vanilla Minecraft blocks. Oh, there is one there already. I was like, I'm going to put one there. It's already there. Maybe we'll put 2 back there. I'm going to reiterate my desire to have Mojang fix elytra and water. Something I always notice when I'm doing this kind of work. Half enjoyable, says Low. Went shopping in the morning, which is good, but then had to walk home because the bus didn't come. Oh, I hate that. I take transit as well, and especially around here when it's miserable weather, if you're waiting for a bus that just doesn't show up on time, brutal. The thing that really bugs me is when they're early. When it's supposed to be there at like 10 after the hour, you're walking to the bus stop and it's 3 minutes after the hour, and then you watch it go by and you're like, really? And you don't want to go and like wait forever. You can be 10 minutes early, but like when it's pouring rain, like being 10 minutes early is a terrible idea. Thanks for the kind words, Happy. Appreciate it. Very nice of you. Yeah, I would take the elytra off as well, GrandpaCrafter. I know that there's that kind of a solution available to me. But then I go to take a break, or I go to back up and look at something and I'm just like, bup, bup, and then nothing happens. And then I have to go fish through my inventory. It's the same reason why instead of going into my inventory for something, I'll walk 4 blocks or 10 blocks and pick block, as opposed to just go into my inventory and get it. I just find it more convenient. I think those brown dirt blocks are really helping, actually. Surprisingly, I'm covering up a lot of the dirt, but the little pebbles add in a little extra, I think. Yeah, I'm good with that. I almost want to see what this would look like with some extra leaves. Oh yeah, I like that better. Cool. So that's that section done, right? Like not a terrible amount of work to go into it. You just have to kind of smooth things out. I would say we have to kind of look at this area first. This looks pretty good, but I think whatever happens back here is going to affect what's happening elsewhere. I think this is probably going to get turned into a cliff. It's a little bit too far forward. So I think what might happen here is a stone ridge. Yeah. And then we'll just take the whole thing down. Then this will have to get stepped back too. I'm not sure how this tree even grew like that. Dirt. What am I not using a lot of right now? Probably the seagrass. Certainly don't need the seeds. Flowers. Building up a little bit of grass, which is good. And we're not using the moss right now either. Oh, you're getting over COVID, Patrice. That's rough. Hopefully you're feeling better soon. Hopefully that doesn't look too mechanical. It's a little straight. We'll have to fix that. But you can kind of see what I'm going for here. And if we run that back, this way. Granite. Ugh. Who needs that? Oh. Out of stone. Time to switch. Where'd the spider come from? Oh, you're welcome, MDocs. Glad that the birthday shout out gave your gave you a nice day. How did that happen? Was it like in your email or something? I don't remember. Stone. Actually, I'll make sure I've got some andesite too, which I do. Naturally, there was already some andesite here, so I think it's kind of fun to just lean into that. Cow. Really? Move. Yeah, just breaks things up a little bit. You can kind of push and pull. Take something that's in the background here and then pull it out a level. And then push it back a level. Here, though, I think I'd want to change it back to dirt. Or grass. I guess here we'd have to bring it back a little bit. Hey, we'll figure that out later. How can we... Guess we could push this out one. Let's see how this looks. You talk about Minecraft moving too quickly in your email? Oh, I see, yeah. It's a little contrived. It's not the best. I think I like it better if we moved everything back from the edge. Might mean we have to move the tree. Find sometimes you can get away with just moving the trunk and leaving the top where it is. I might want to make that a little bit taller. Looks like it's leaning over the edge a little bit. Whoops. Yeah, that's working. Oops, that should be andesite probably. We'll have some gravel somewhere. No, don't. But I did. All right, happy with that. Let's take a look at this side. Can't really see it behind the tree anyway, so not a big deal. Yeah. And then we just have to go through here and maybe trim up a few of these. That'll be okay. I hear the spider. Where is it? I just don't want to get caught in the dark. Oh, it's probably in the cave. Yeah, it's in the cave. Break time, says Cosmic. Thank you. Appreciate the heads up. So ignore everything to the right. It's mostly just the edge of this here, moving back this way. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. It's a little bit of a staircase here. I might want to tweak that a little bit. There must be bees inside of a bee's nest somewhere. I can hear them. Oh. One of those hives must have bees in them. And I guess they're stuck because they can't get out, maybe? That's annoying. Yeah, not bad. Not bad, not bad. All right. I'm going to stick to these breaks. So if you're new to the channel, I take a break about once an hour. It's that time. Gives me a chance to step away, refresh the coffee, refresh the water, that kind of thing. You can do the same. Maybe even grab a friend, let them know that we're live. And I'll see you all in about 5 or 6 minutes. So we can walk along the boardwalk, or the wharf, I guess, and take a look to see how this is feeling. I didn't realize we'd be looking right at that. That's cool. Kind of a nice little shot come down there. Let's tidy up this side. It's probably pretty good. That all looks fine. There's nothing terribly special about it. I might want to add in a bush here, maybe to hide some of this. Maybe we'll get rid of this part here. Yeah, that's not too bad. Actually, you know, would be better. Probably be a fern back here. Hides a little bit more of the dirt. Yeah, and then we just hit this with bone meal. Get rid of the tall grass, get rid of the flowers. Same as last time. Do the tall grass first. Maybe we'll leave one or two. And of course, my inventory's full. We really haven't been using the tuff. And I was hoping for gravel. I wish that we could just punch ferns. It would be nicer, easier to get them. So here is where I thought gravel would look good, which I know is really finicky, but I like it. Better than cobble. So here's another spot where I feel like we can do a little shoreline. Maybe we'll patch that up. Maybe not. Maybe that's a little distracting. Maybe it's just a little bit too big. That's probably better. That's not bad. The other thing that's missing, of course, is the underwater stuff. And I just realized that we've got all this gravel here too. I may actually switch that. It looks like I was supposed to be just going over it. It's all right, we'll do this. Probably the easier thing to do anyway. And we can just leave the stuff down there. And then we can come through and trim this a bit. Trey the Nerd, hello, welcome in. Thanks for saying hi. Oh, am I stuck? Nope. Let's get rid of grass. Not using the moss carpet either. So the ferns are kind of obvious. We'll have to replace a couple of these. I'll pop a couple up higher. I'm glad I set up over here. Much more convenient than setting up on the dock. Oof. Almost made it. Got some tall grass up there. Wouldn't mind having a bit more. Maybe right here. Yeah, just kind of bring a little variety here and there. I also think I'm going to try to work in another bush somewhere. Because here it's like, this is what you see when you come down here, and I feel like this area sort of stands out. So does that, but it's got the bush there. Let's see how that looks. Hey, there's the Maccast. I saw that you got something new and shiny on the social medias. How's that been treating you? I watched a review. I'm blanking on his name. I don't think it's Marcus, but it's very similar to Marcus. It was a really honest review of the Vision Pro from Apple. Using it now and typing it out kind of stinks. Yep. Yeah, typing on it looked like it was a giant pain in the butt. I can see how having to look directly at the thing you want to interact with would be a real pain. I would want the combination of heads-up display, quote unquote, spatial computing, but I would also want something in my hand. But that could be the console gamer in me, you know, like that could be the person. Like I can imagine being very, very at home with like an Xbox controller in my hand. Elcor95, we're talking about the new Vision Pro from Apple, their new VR headset that's either available now or at least the pre-orders are out. I can't remember which. As with most things, it's too expensive for me for the content that's available on it, and the content that they don't allow on it. Like you can't watch Netflix on it. So until the content catches up or is allowed to catch up, then I can't see it making a lot of noise. I've thought about getting a Quest 2 back when I was doing more art and more art streams. I definitely thought about doing more of that. You need to add a keyboard? Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is, and what's nice about it is that if it works like that and allows you to add things that you want, then it becomes a nice experience individually for people. So people that like the interface, find it easy to type, or can do voice, great. You know, it's really cool for accessibility. But if you know that your whole flow would be better with a keyboard, then the fact that you can add one is good. The fact that they allow you to do that, you know. This is where I really wish we had access to moss in this area, but the moss clashes with everything. I'm going to try something here. I think this might look better if I actually cut this down and went fern. Yeah, that works much better. Cool. I think maybe we'll add some roots. Nice. Just some simple touches that I think really help make this look and feel like a complete thought. Speaking of, it's like I missed a spot. I'll probably go through and do a little bit more with an underwater pass. That's usually the better way to do that. Here it actually looks like it could use a little slope just to kind of break it up a little bit. And just because you can see that from the surface here. I know I keep saying it, but I would very much like to have a single block tall bit of seagrass that would poke through the surface of the water. That would be great. It feels pretty natural. I like little things like this where maybe the trunk and the root system kind of slows the water down enough that you get like extra grass growing where the water might be slower, and then less so when the water might be faster. And obviously because this kind of outstretches a bit, there's not as much happening. Plus you can't really see it. And I would imagine like boats coming up to here would keep this to a minimum. Did watch Rogue One in a land speeder on Tatooine. That's really cool. The immersive is unbelievable. It's crazy how good it is for Gen 1. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, from what I saw on the review, it looked really good. Is there a bed in here somewhere? Yeah, I like the idea of watching something kind of on a screen as big as you want, you know, in your space. Or video games, like if you could use it like a display and play something like Forza, you know, or instead of watching Rogue One, like playing Rogue Squadron or something would be really cool. But I don't know if that's really up there. Well, I know that Rogue Squadron was in VR for, I think, the Quest. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple friends that I can talk to about trying it at an Apple store and whatnot. How is it for weight? The criticism that I've heard a lot of is that it's quite front heavy and hard on the head and the neck after a while. And as per usual, it's full of proprietary Apple connectors, you know. It's too bad because I feel like they would make it so much more accessible if they just used industry standard plugs, allowed people to put in bigger, like their own batteries, bigger batteries, that kind of thing. 2 hours seems a little bit low as well. All right, this is going to have to change. I might have to get rid of a tree here. All right, I think the thing to do here, I don't know whether I want to build this. I think I might want to build this up rather than carve it down. Oh, no, wait a minute. Yeah, let's get back here and see what we're dealing with. We'll get this off the ground. Like that. And then along here, I guess we could keep the stone. Yeah, sure, why not? push that back a bit. All right, so leave that there for now. And then here, instead of cutting back, let's bring this out. And then we can push this sideways so it doesn't look so square. I think that works. We're going to have to move a tree. Still kind of square. Whoops. Starting to get there. Battery has a USB-C. You can daisy chain to another battery. Oh, that's right. I did see that. I imagine anybody that's going to be using it long term is probably going to be sitting down, and so the battery thing is kind of moot because then you're just going to be either plugged into the wall directly, or like you said, another battery. It is neat that I don't know about neat, but I guess it's thoughtful that the battery for the Vision Pro is in between the wall and you, so that if you do need to sit down and use it plugged into the wall, then as you're doing that, you're also charging the battery. Yeah, it's way less square now. That's better. That looks weird. And then I think we just go around and pepper this with grass where it needs. Oh, right. I think the solution here is to pull that back actually into this space. Again, just super simple. Keep the tree where it's supposed to be. Move the trunk. Some software bugginess, but it's early. Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, those kind of things. I think, I mean, what really happens with this kind of stuff is, you know, the hardware and the power is there, and provided that companies that want to be on the platform are allowed to be on the platform, then I mean, like, it's the apps that make the iPhone. You know, like, yes, it's got a great camera and, you know, the hardware and stuff is there, but I feel like the real innovation comes with all the cool companies that make cool apps. I still haven't tried VR at all. I've never even messed with it. The idea when I first built this computer was to play No Man's Sky in VR. That was the plan. But I never got there. Mostly because I don't think that game really grabbed me at the time. It would definitely be something worth trying now. It'd be really cool if you could do their new one. The Light No Fire. That in VR could be really interesting. Although, I guess the ships would probably be the big draw of VR. Not in Light No Fire, but in No Man's Sky. Watching you in Minecraft on a 120 degrees screen is pretty cool. Yeah, that would be interesting. I saw in the demo video that I watched the panorama way to view your photos. If you took like a panoramic photo and they kind of give you like a wraparound view. And that looked amazing. I immediately thought of my hiking photos from, you know, like the edge of Canyonlands or something in Utah, where you're looking at like a 3 mile down view, and to show people at home like this is what it felt like to kind of stand on the edge of this canyon. That's really cool, and also neat for educational purposes. You know, like I'd seen pictures of the Grand Canyon and stuff, like growing up and in geography class and stuff, but to be there is something entirely different. And I think what's really cool about that is that it kind of helps with that perspective. And same thing with art. Like when I was studying art in school, I was looking at things like Jackson Pollock and some different modern artists that I was doing some research on. But you can't really look at a 10-inch, even if it's a big image in a book, like 10 inches wide, that can't prepare you for a 14-foot wide Jackson Pollock painting, right? Like when you see it in person in New York, like that's a different experience. But you could do that with VR. Like if you say, okay, I'm in a space and this is the dimensions of the space, and then this is the size of the painting. So you could do like a virtual art tour, you know? So for educational purposes, it's really cool. But like for educational purposes, the price point is way out there. So there's definitely some possibilities. And I think that's my positive takeaway is like there's a lot of possibilities. And what did I see the other day? I don't think it wasn't a Vision Pro. I think it was someone using a Quest, but it was a mechanic. It was a car mechanic, and they were using the paths through video to actually work on the car. But up to their right in the shop, they had a YouTube video explaining the procedure of fixing a part. They had like a step-by-step website with all the different like things written out and the different tools that you would need. And they had one other thing, and I can't remember what it was. It might have been like stats on the current vehicle, like the model of the vehicle that they were using. And just to kind of have all of that there in front of you, floating in space as you're working on something, would be really, really cool. I could see it as an artist too, like if I was painting something in VR, and I wanted references instead of on a second monitor, like just having them float next to me would be very cool, you know? Thanks, Meadow. No worries. That's a funny typo too, Mattcast. With pianos, it feels like you're back there. I was like, that's very specific. Panoramas. Have you had your fill of winter yet? I'm snowed in today. There's no going anywhere in Dartmouth today, which is fine. I don't normally go anywhere on Saturday. At least not this time of year. That actually looks pretty good. All right. I think the thing to do here is same thing. We're going to build out rather than carve in. So I'm just going to get some of this out of the way. And then here, I think we'll just, maybe we'll leave like a gap of 2. And then we'll just go up and have it be a single line. So this is going to be a real issue. And then I guess we'll keep it the same. Yeah, that works. And then up here, maybe we'll start going in a different pattern. Tighten up a bit. Oops. Yeah, we'll have to deal with that later. So something messed up here. Oh, this thing. That. Actually, maybe we'll keep this wide and then have this be wide as well. See how that looks. Thanks, Mattcast. I really appreciate it. Good to see you. Thanks for pumping by. And thanks for the little mini insight on the Vision Pro. Yeah, that looks way more natural. Way more natural. I forgot that we had this out here. It's almost like a brand new build. Feels very New World. I'm looking forward to setting out and doing the sci-fi area. I think I'm going to treat it like my own little hermitcraft base, you know, like try not to return to other places on the server as much and try to like have my own little just farms that are just big enough for me, my needs, that kind of thing. All right. I'm pretty sure we're still in a taiga biome. Yeah. So we're just going to bone meal everything. A lot of flowers. And then we'll get rid of all the flowers. So if you need any poppies or dandelions, Cosmic, you know where to come. I feel like it is easier if you remove the tall grass first. I often think about like switching up the order just to kind of see what's more efficient. I think you can see the flowers better if you do the tall grass first. The map is also a good little trick to try and see the flowers. You need to. You're sad about the flower removal? So you're not going to mention it? Good. Good to know. Good to know. Think about it as providing you with free flowers. Whoops. All I'm doing here is just looking at some places where there's some tall grass and thinking like it would be nice if the tall grass made sense, like it looked intentional, or was growing up like over there and then like up and through here and then there. So I just kind of removed like a little bit through this area, but kind of kept the edges. And then in places like that, I feel like we can do a bush. I want to try and see. Did I bring any? I do. I'm curious whether these will look out of place or not. That might just look like a tree. It might be better to have the mangrove. Yeah, they look like fallen leaves. I want to try and grab some oak. I haven't really messed with the oak, but the oak will change color in the biome too. See, this is why I leave the elytra on, because it makes this kind of stuff a lot easier. Put some oak leaves there. And I'll put some mangrove somewhere else, and we'll see which one we like better. They really show up as the same color, don't they? And the new oak texture in the last few years, a lot more dense. I think I like the mangrove better. It just has a different directional feel to it. This still works, but I think just for a little something different. Try to get some layers in there. Do all that work to put in a bush, then you basically hide the whole thing. I didn't get any vines. I should see if I can get some vines in there too. Nice and problematic areas where you can't quite get rid of the dirt block. Can't hide it. Oh, did I bring them? Yes. That helps a little bit. Yeah. So I'm happy with most of this. I think it's just little bits like there. But I have to remember, I also have this trick with the coarse dirt slabs that we're using before to help add a little bit of color variety maybe. Thank you, Cosmic. Appreciate it. Plus, with the coarse dirt full block, you can still put grass on top of it. Oh, now I can't see. Is there a bed in here? Yep. Yeah, like there's not too much that's jumping out at me, just a few things down here. Might be worth having a little dirt down here. Actually, maybe we'll just do path block. And that always looks a little bit funny until you start to add in a little bit of bone meal along here. Yeah, I think that works. There's definitely going to be some sort of transition here. Like, I don't know what's happening there, and whatever's happening in this like 4 or 5 block area is going to have to transition into whatever that is. And I think that is probably going to end up being a rock face. We'll just, again, we'll accept what Minecraft has given us, and maybe we'll just turn it into something that's a little bit more exposed. And obviously this needs to be reshaped as well. So we'll kind of come up with something that I think works. Because this, if this was flat, it would be really boring. So we may even add a layer on this. We'll have to see. But just like little things like this, we can kind of keep what Minecraft has given us. Right? But likely cut away the dirt that's kind of getting into the tree and then create the cliff on the other side. Mm-hmm. This is where I wish we could have different grass textures in taiga. This doesn't work very well. I guess I could try to bury a couple of mangrove leaf blocks. Or maybe this is a good spot to use the oak. It helps a little bit. Just a little bit of variety, not too much. I think that works. I need something in here. Maybe we'll put another bush. Yeah, something a little bit larger. Oh yeah, that helps. Sometimes it's just about making it look like the seeds or the roots from whatever is there are kind of like naturally spreading around the hillside. And again, I feel like the map is really useful for that. Like you can sort of see the thought process and where things are grouped and how they flow, you know? Wow, that was a weird electric trick. Don't know how I did that. See that? That's probably too much. Going up on the top there. Yeah, the theme here is more brown and green. I'm not really going for flowers. Yeah, that's a fun trick. I'm gonna have to remember that. I feel like the coarse dirt slabs help make the brown patches feel more intentional rather than just something that you couldn't hide. I forgot that the vines have their own noise now too. I mean, that's a couple of updates old, but I don't use them very often. I like what Johnny said earlier today on the Spawnchunks Hangout about getting somebody that works in sound design for Minecraft on the podcast. That would be fantastic. I think I'm going to add in a little bit of andesite over here. Feels a little bit on the bland side. I think that works. Yeah. Maybe we'll add in a little bit more over here too. Oop, that's the wrong thing. I guess I could try coarse dirt in there too, couldn't I? Probably better with just regular dirt. I definitely remember my first days in Minecraft running around forests and trying to find your way around and really getting frustrated when you like couldn't jump because the gap to get up over a small 1-block jump was hindered by a tree. I didn't realize there was so much dark oak back here. I guess somebody was farming. It wasn't me. Oh yeah, there. Huh. See if that looks good. Yeah. All right. I think that's time to step away from that, but I think that's a pretty decent amount of progress on the south bank of the Westhill River. We, not including under the water surface, but I'm going to call this done all the way from the point of interest here at the bridge. I think that's a pretty straightforward way to make feeling of walking along this boardwalk, although you get caught up on the soul sand. That feels pretty natural. Maybe a little bit could have been done there, but I think that looks pretty good. I like this rock kind of like going in and out of the dirt. You know, the dirt comes down and you can see it looks like the same rock formation, right? Thanks, Cosmic. Yeah. So tomorrow, when I come back, we will do probably this part here. I'd like to try to get to the point, and I'm sure we could. Although this will obviously have two sides to it, so that may take a little bit longer than than one would think. But really, I'm just going to go until it gets out of sight. And that is about here. Like once we reach this point, I'm done. I'm not going to be going down around the bend or anything like that. So it's just a matter of, and this is going to be very simple bone meal stuff because you can't see anything down here other than like what's in eye shot of the docks. So like we scoot over there. Right? Like that's kind of the edge of your vision. And then on this side, it's kind of where there's a cave down there. That's what those are letting me know. So it's a relatively small section between the dock and there. And then this is the thing. And we should be able to get this done tomorrow, I would think. And then, well, the above water part, the below water, that's going to be a different day. I could have started with that. I just didn't really feel like floating around today. But yeah, that feels really cool. Even coming in this direction, I feel like it has some variety. It feels like you're in a little pocket, you know? And if we back up a bit, I bet you it looks cool from up here too. Yeah, I mean, there's maybe a little bit of work to be done in the forest, just like with just sprinkling some bone meal around, because it does look like it kind of stops. But other than that, it's pretty good. I don't know where else you'd see it from. Maybe the top of the gate? Yeah, a little bit. Mostly going to be down here, and then the bridge. Yeah. Need to do some more variety, I think. Get some more kelp and stuff going on. Anyway, that's where we're going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed this, then please leave a follow here on Twitch. You can also follow me on social media at Joel Duggan, very easy to find. And check out the podcasts that I do. They're free. You can get a new episode of both the Spawn Chunks and the Citadel Cafe. They're available now wherever you subscribe to the podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you want. And thanks very much for all the support today. There's a number of Prime subs, a number of regular subs, and some bits. And if you want to support in other ways, you can check out patreon.com/JoelDuggan. It's one of the best ways to support me or your favorite streamers. Gets you access to the Discord, gets you my gratitude and appreciation, and gets you in part of the community, which there's lots of stuff going on, including something Cosmic reminded me of. I'm going to be doing a town hall hangout with my supporters on Discord in the near future. I still have to publish a couple more episodes, but when I do, we will, of course, be talking about how things are going with the streams, my plans for 2024, all that kind of stuff. We're going to pass you along to Slice Lime. I believe they're paying bingo. That's normally what they're up to on their Minecraft weekends. So check that out. Make sure to stick around for that raid. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. And it's going to be at 1 o'clock Atlantic. That's UTC minus 4 hours. Today was a little bit later because of the Spawn Chunk stuff. But we're back to normal times tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Bye for now.